Hello everybody. It's lovely to be able to share a little video with you in the young people's groups. My name is Jill Kirkham.
And I'm Martin Kirkham.
And we live in Mill Timber, and we've been members of St Devenick's for some years now. We have two children. Here's a family photograph. Here's our son Mike, who's a bit older now, and our daughter Steffi. But we thought it would be nice to show you because when we arrived in Aberdeen and we joined St Devenick's, they would have been in explorer groups, so similar groups to some of you now.
They're now both married and living near us in Aberdeen, and they have children of their own. And you may have met them because they've been to our church sometimes. So you may have met little Laura or Daniel or possibly Grace. So that's us and our kids, and we'll introduce you to our pets as well.
Yes. So this is Sasha, who's our lovely mini Schnauzer dog. And she's very interested in looking out of the window at all the people sledging in the moment because we've got a lot of snow. And we also have a pussycat, Layla cat, who is now 17, and she's sleeping comfortably in the lounge at the moment. So rather than disturb her, we thought we'd show you a picture that I took a couple of years ago. You might think that she's catching a dandelion, but in fact, nestling in the grass, there is a mouse. And she didn't get it, she didn't catch it, but she was doing a very good job, and I like my picture. So the psalm we want to share with you today is Psalm 19, near the beginning of the book of Psalms. And the reason it's special to us is that Martin and I belong to a youth group. It was a 20s and 30s group at church in Chislehurst, Christ Church Chislehurst in South London. And we went for a weekend with that group to Lee Abbey in Devon. And this psalm was chosen as a study, and that's how we came to love it.
And in fact, we chose it as one of the readings for our wedding, which, as you'll see, was also a long time ago. But shortly after our wedding, we found a book for Psalm 19. We also found one for our other reading as well. So we bought those to remind us of those readings from the wedding, and particularly Psalm 19. So we're going to show you some of the pictures in the book which help you see how the psalm fits together, and they illustrate some of the words in the psalm.
The beginning of the psalm talks about the beauty of creation, and then in the middle of the psalm we have lots of words to describe God's laws and statutes and why they are so important. And at the end it talks about us keeping to the laws of the psalm, and help us, Lord, to show us our errors. So the psalm begins, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the works of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they display knowledge. There is no speech or language where their voice is not heard. Their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens, God has pitched a tent for the sun, which is like a bridegroom coming forth from his pavilion like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heaven and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is hidden from its heart, from its heat. Sorry.
The law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The statutes of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, giving joy to the heart. The commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The ordinances of the Lord are sure and altogether righteous. They are more precious than gold, than much pure gold. They are sweeter than honey from the comb. By them your servant is warned. In keeping them there is great reward.
Who can discern his errors? Forgive my hidden faults. Keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me. Then will I be blameless, innocent of great transgression. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my Redeemer.
The psalm says that the laws and the commandments of the Lord are sweeter than honey from the comb. So this is a picture of bees in their hive on the honeycomb where they store the honey they've made, and which people for many thousands of years have been taking and using as a sweetener. And the people of the days of the Bible wouldn't have had pure sugar like we have, and they would have had sweet things like ripe fruit, but to make something sweeter, really the only thing they could use was honey from a beehive. So some of the flavours they would have had would be things like salt and vinegar, which is made from wine that's gone off in effect, and honey. So what you could do is go to the kitchen and have a little taste of each of those things, and you'll see how bitter and acidic vinegar is, how salty salt is, and then when you come to the honey, you'll be able to tell just how sweet that is.
So we've got a couple of ideas for things that you could make or draw. Now it mentions in the psalm about the laws of the Lord being more precious than gold and much pure gold, sweeter than honey from the comb. And here's the picture. Now the individual cells in the honeycomb are all hexagons. The older ones will know that a hexagon is a six-sided shape. So I drew this. You might have something in your house that's a triangle like that. And then I drew a triangle, and then if you join together 6 shapes like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the shape you have then becomes a 6-sided shape, and that is a regular hexagon. So you might want to have a go at drawing something like that.
Another thing you could do is you could cut up a toilet roll or kitchen roll to form these little circles, and then when you squidge them as close as you can together, they become the shape of the hexagons in the honeycomb. If you had a kitchen roll, you could make a lot more. And you see that this is the tightest way you can pack them together, and it forms a natural hexagonal shape. So we hope you enjoyed our little introduction to Psalm 19, and you can experiment with some of the ideas coming out of it. But the important thing is to look into it more deeply and what it's saying about God and his laws for us.